Caritas News on the Go, the Social Action Network's news and public affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide. Live at Caritas Philippines social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the Go.
Isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Welcome sa ating programa. Ito po ang Caritas News on the Go. Ako po si Gerry Henderson. At live na live tayo dito sa Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan sa Oriental Mindoro. At kasama natin ngayon para pag-usapan naman kung ano yung mga challenges and triumphs ng IP Lead project natin. Kasama syempre ang ACID at ang Caritas Española. Kasama po natin walang iba kundi ang project officer ng IP Lead dito sa Calapan, si Ate Diding Alarde. Good morning, Ate Diding, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Jing, at magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Okay, Ate Diding, unahin natin ano ang IP Lead program at bakit meron tayo nito dito sa Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan?
Itong IP Lead project ito ay para sa dalawang pamayanan, katutubo, at ang layunin nito ay para sa kanilang paglago. Paglago lalo na sa usapin ng kanilang kasiguruduhan sa pagkain at mahalaga yung partisipasyon ng mga kababaihan sa pamayanan kung ano man yung gawain. Sa
Caritas Philippines po, unlike sa ibang mga katutubong grupo, yung Mangyan ay palagi na nating naririnig. Ano po. So parang from our side, ito ay kumbaga hindi na gaanong, kumbaga madalas nang nabibigyan ng pansin. Pero sa Apostolic Vicariate po, bakit nilayon natin na magkaroon pa rin ng programa na nakatutok or tumutugon pa din dun sa mga pangangailangan ng mga Mangyan?
Para sa ating mga kapatid na katutubong Mangyan, nandoon yung kanilang araw-araw na pamumuhay sa bundok. So sa project, IP Lead project, mayroon dalawang pamayanan na magkaiba ang tribo kung saan inilapat ang programang ito. Isa sa Loyal Victoria, ito ay para sa isang grupo ng Tadyawan Mangyan Community, at isa dito sa Caldeapan Alcate Victoria, ito ay sa Alangan Mangyan doon. So dalawang magkahiwalay.
So, meron ba dati pa po, meron na ba ng programa ang Apostolic Vicariate para sa kanila? Alam ko meron po kayong Mangyan Mission, ano po. Tapos, bakit kinakailangan or kinailangan na magkaroon tayo ng IP Lead program?
Isa sa gawain ng Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan, mission ng Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan ay ang paglilingkuran ang mga kapatid na katutubong Mangyan sa buong Oriental Mindoro. So yun yung isa sa mga nagbibigay ng puso ng misyon ng Apostolico Vicariato ng Calapan. Maraming ginagawa ang simbahan, ang Apostolico Vicariato ng Calapan sa usapin ng edukasyon, sa usapin ng kalusugan, sa usapin ng lupaing ninuno, at marami pang iba. Itong ginagawa ngayon na IP Lead project sa pamamagitan ng Diocesan Social Action, ito ay isang pamamaraan na kahit na mayroon silang katutubong pamamaraan sa pagsasaka, mayroon ding dagdag na kaalaman ibinibigay para makatulong kung paano ba maaring tuloy-tuloy na sila magkakaroon ng pagkain. At sa pamamagitan nito, kung tuloy-tuloy na ginagawa, ang pamilya ay makikinabang, ang pamayanan ay makikinabang, at ang lahat ay sama-samang uunlad.
Alam po natin na ang buong Mindoro, ang island ng Mindoro ay food basket ng South Luzon. Bakit kinakailangan na magkaroon tayo ng ganitong programa po para sa mga Mangyan kung meron ng ready na pagkain na ibinibigay sa atin po?
Kahit na sasabihin natin na food basket ang Oriental Mindoro, ang pamamaraan ng ating mga kapatid na Mangyan sa kanilang araw-araw na pagkain ay iba din ang sistema. At kahit iba ang sistema, maaari din silang bigyan ng dagdag kaalaman upang higit pa nilang mapaunlad, mapaganda at magkaroon ng mas kasiguraduhan ng kanilang pagkain.
Okay. Aside po sa pagsasaka, papaano din natin sinisiguro na malalaman, maririnig yung boses ng ating mga kapatid na Mangyan, lalong-lalo na sa lokal na pamamahala po ng ating pamahalaan dito sa Mindoro?
Ang pamamaraan ng IP Lead Project ay ginagabayan ang pamayanan para sila ay makabuo ng isang pangkabuhayang samahan. Meron silang mas malaking samahan bilang isang tribo, pero itong pangkabuhayan na samahan ay doon kung nasaan sila. Sa pangkabuhayan ay ito ay dinadaan sa mga pag-aaral kung ano ba yung sinasabi natin, ano ba yung organikong pagsasaka. Paano ba natin mapangalagaan ang kalikasan habang ating inuutay-utay na nagtatanim, nagtatabas, minsan-minsan nagpuputol din ng mga puno. Binibigyan ng diin na paano din alagaan ang kalikasan na siyang nagbibigay din ng biyaya sa kanila. Yan ay napakalapit sa kanilang puso ang kalikasan. Mahal nila, inaalagaan nila. Ang bahagi ng ating tulong sa project ay dagdag kaalaman para higit-higit na magkakaroon ng mas magandang ani, mas magandang kita, mas magandang buhay, at higit sa lahat, araw-araw, sana may pagkain sa bawat lamesa.
Sa mga panahon po or mga taon na we have implemented yung IP Lead project natin, ano po sa palagay ninyo yung pinakamahalagang kontribusyon ng proyekto doon sa pamumuhay ng ating mga kapatid na Mangyan?
Isa siguro yung binigyan sila ng dagdag kaalaman dahil meron silang sariling pangkulturang kaalaman, dagdag kaalaman na kahit sasabihin natin ay ito'y mula sa labas na kaalaman na hindi naman nakakasira sa kultura na maaari nilang angkinin, paano ba nila ito gagawin para higit na uunlad ang kanilang produksyong pang-agrikultura.
Sa parte po ng Apostolic Vicariate ng Calapan, lalong-lalo na sa Social Action Center, ano po yung mahalagang lesson na natutunan po ninyo while implementing the project?
Isa ay, ako personally, ay ang pakikipaglakbay. Minsan, nandoon yung challenge na paano ba sila masabayan habang mayroong sinasabi ang programa na ito, gagawin ito, i-deliver ito. Paano ba yun isasabay? Minsan mahirap, pero pinagsisikapan na hindi man dapat makasagasa sa kanilang kultura, maari nilang tanggapin at maari nilang gawin.
Magtatapos na po yung implementasyon natin para dun sa mga future projects that we will be doing for the Mangyan mission or for any other IP communities, especially for Caritas Philippines. Ano po yung suggestion ninyo or recommendation para mas mapaganda natin yung implementation ng mga programa?
Ang ginagawa ng IP Lead ay more sa pangkabuhayan. Pangkabuhayan, pagkain, kikitain, at sama-sama kung lahat nakikinabang maging malusog. Dito sa gawain na ito, sana mas mapaigting pa. 2 taon ay hindi enough to say everything is finished. No, hindi. Kailangan patuloy na paggabay, kahit na sila ay isang organisadong samahan na, gabay, maaring dagdag na mga tulong, financial, material sa usaping agrikultura o anuman yun. At syempre, kahit papaano simbahan ito, yung ating patuloy na pagpapahalaga sa kalikasan, bigay ito ng Diyos. At higit sa lahat, habang nakikipaglakbay sa kanila, napakahalaga, laging isa sa isip natin na meron silang kultura na kailangang mairespeto, kailangan mapakinggan ano man yung gusto nila, kailan nila ito gagawin, dahil sila mismo meron din silang pamamaraan at masasabing ito yung pag-unlad na gusto namin.
Ate Diding, para sa mga tumulong sa atin sa Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan, sa atin sa Caritas Philippines, para sa mga tumulong, lalong-lalo na ang ACID, pagkatapos po ang Caritas Española, ano ang mensahe natin para sa kanila?
Unang-una ay isang malaking pasasalamat dahil alam natin na ang ating mga kapatid na katutubo, lalo higit dito sa dalawang communities na tinutulungan ng IPLEAD, talagang mahirap kung sa usaping social status, hindi ganon kaganda, kaalwan. Sila'y nangangailangan din ng tulong. Hindi lang basta bibigyan ng bibigyan, kundi sana mula doon sa ibinibigay, sila'y matuto na sila na mismo yung magpapalago pagdating ng panahon at sila na yung makapagsabi na ito nga yung aming gusto. Hindi yung basta spoon feeding, kundi dapat maranasan nila. Kung kailangan magtanim at tingnan ang bunga. Kailangan magtanim at hindi magandang ang bunga, pag ninilayan, bakit hindi maganda ang bunga? Kaya magandang sa ganung pamamaraan, tutulungan pa rin sila, sasabayan pa rin sila, at sabi ko nga, ang 2 years ay hindi ibig sabihin tigil na. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin, kailangan gagabayan sila.
Last question, Ate Diding, papaano naman po natin siniguro na makakatrabaho natin or isa sa mga stakeholders natin for the project ay ang mga lokal na pamahalaan po dito sa Mindoro?
In the very beginning, lalo na ang LGU ng Victoria, na andoon sila sa project. Nandoon sila, present sila, at kahit papaano, sila ay dumadalaw. Nandoon yung Municipal Planning and Development Office since the beginning until now, dire-diretso sila, nagsusuporta sila kung ano yung pangangailangan. Dumalo sa amin yung kanilang isang head staff nila, dumalo sa pulong, dumadalaw sa community. Ang kanilang Municipal Agriculture Office, nagbigay sila ng napakaraming yam, yung obe, tinatanim. Isa sa mga tinatanim ng mga tadyawan Mangyan doon sa Luyal, ang mga obe na yan, isa yan sa mga ginagawa nila. At hopefully, 2 years from now, sila yung magiging source ng obe. Kasi kung hindi ako nagkakamali, more or less 2,000 na ubi na pananim itinanim nila. Maliban doon, naandoon din, sumusuporta din nung kami ay nagkaroon ng Participatory Disaster Risk Assessment Follow-up Seminar. Nandun yung presensya ng staff ng kanilang MDRR office. Nagpapaliwanag ano yung gawain at ano man yung maitulong para sa mga Mangyan sa panahon ng disaster. Tapos doon din naman, dahil meron ginagawang feeding, nandoon din yung support ng barangay health nutrition scholars nila para sa feeding. Nandoon lalo na ang barangay officers. Alam ng kapitan, alam ng konsihal, ano itong ginagawa ng IPLEAD project. Pag sinasabing gawain ng simbahan, alam din lahat yun ng LGU.
Maganda yun, Ate Diding, kasi alam naman natin na hindi po pwedeng lumarga or magpatuloy yung ating mga programa kapag hindi din sinusuportahan ng ating mga local government units. Lalong-lalo na talagang ito yung kanilang main mandate at tayo ay complementary lamang dun sa kanilang mga gawain.
Dagdag pa doon ay nagkakaroon ng presentation ng IP agenda. Isa yun sa mga gawain ng IPLEAD na magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na ang mga katutubo mula sa Victoria na pinapangunahan ng dalawang community dahil sila yung nagpatawag sa iba't ibang mga katutubo sa LGU Victoria para mailhad sa LGU Victoria ang kanilang IP agenda. Inilahad at maraming tumutugon na mga konsihal ng munisipyo na sa ganitong mga ginagawa namin, ito yung aming pagtugon sa aming mga kapatid na katutubo. Ang isa lang sa ngayon na hindi maaring ma-push in the period of 2 years sa project, yung IPMR, yung IP, Mandatory Representative in Victoria, parang the LGU is not yet ready na ma-push yan, pero naihain na sa kanila ang IP agenda sa pamamagitan ng IP Lead Project.
Lalong-lalo na mahalaga yan, Ate Diding, dahil yung kabuuan ng, lalo na po dito sa Oriental Mindoro, ay halos ancestral domain. Ano po? Ito ay, kumbaga, pag-aari in a sense nung ating mga Mangyan na kapatid. Kaya mahalaga din na talagang magkaroon sila ng proper representation sa ating mga local government units. Okay, Ate Diding, sabi ko kanina last question na, pero ito, pahabol. Personal question, ano po yung pinaka-paborito ninyong experience doon sa 2 years ninyo na pakikipamuhay sa mga Mangyan?
Ang sa akin ay yung pag nag-appreciate sila sa bunga na pinaghirapan nila, yung pagtatanim, yung pag-aani, at kung makita nila yung may nabago, natanggap naman sa kanilang kultura at magsasabi sila, wow! Parang ang sarap sa puso. Ang sarap sa puso pakinggan at damhin. Paano nila nakita yung wow? Paano sila na-amaze? Sila yung nagsasabi na wow.
Wow! Okay. Maraming salamat po, Ate Diding Alarde. Nakasama po natin galing sa Apostolic Vicariate of Calapan sa ating Social Action Center, ang Project Officer ng IP Lead Project dito para sa ating mga katutubong Mangyan. Magbabalik po ang Caritas News on the Go, makalipas lang ang ilang paalala.
Caritas News on the Go, the Social Action Network's news and public affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide. Live at Caritas Philippines social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the Go.
I can't feed 5,000, but I can feed one. I can't walk on water, but I can walk in the shoes of another. I can't turn water into wine, but I can turn a frown into a smile. Sharing what I have in my hands is the miracle that needs to be seen today. Every blessing I receive is a miracle that I can share. This is what I can share. This is my Alay Kapwa.
Alay Kapwa, a flagship program of Caritas Philippines by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines.
Violence against women is pervasive everywhere in the world and in just about every walk of life. And it damages people's lives and tears the hearts out of communities. But equally, I have seen Caritas's amazing work in many places, working with women who have suffered violence themselves and who then go on to work with other women who have suffered violence. I've seen the amazing transformation that investing in women, investing in their capacity, their ability to talk among themselves and grow in confidence, to become self-sufficient and to be able to train the authorities and peoples around them so that they are able to enjoy the protections that others would expect. Caritas is committed for the next 6 years for working to tackle violence against women throughout all our program areas. It's only by investing in women themselves that we will really put an end to the problem of violence against women. And women must be at the heart of the futures for themselves as they grow in confidence and security and are able to be in greater control of their own lives and the circumstances they live within. In the next 16 days, we'll be looking at Caritas's work in various different ways, different aspects of how we tackle violence against women. We're committed to all these various different ways. I hope you will look at these examples and be inspired by them. Most importantly, inspired by the women who are the heroes of these stories, who work for themselves to build that future for themselves. And so I ask you to engage over the next 16 days in this campaign, to think to the future, to ensure that we do invest in the future for women, a future free from violence against them, and to build a more just world in which women are not subject to this violence anymore.
Kumusta na kayo? I'll take this opportunity na magpasalamat sa inyo sa mga suporta na binahagi ninyo sa ating programang Alay sa Katugunan sa Kalamidad. Itong nakaraang taon, tayo'y nakaranas ng iba't ibang kalamidad tulad ng Bagyong Odette, Agaton, Karding, Paeng, at may kasama pang lindol. At hanggang ngayon nga, patuloy pa rin ang pagbaha sa iba't ibang parte ng ating bansa. Dahil sa inyong suporta, mahigit kalahating milyon na tao ang ating naabutan ng pagkain, pabahay, kabuhayan, mga kasanayan at iba-iba pang pangangailangan ng mga pamilyang naapektuhan ng kalamidad. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong pagmamalasakit, pakikibahagi at pag-alay kapwa.
Caritas News on the Go, the Social Action Network's news and public affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide. Live at Caritas Philippines social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the Go.
Nagbabalik po tayo sa ating programa. Ito ang Caritas News on the Go. Nitong mga nakaraang araw, lalo-lalo na po noong November 22, kasama po ang Caritas Internationalis Office on Youth, ay nagkaroon tayo ng isang webinar pinamagatang Shine, Listen, and Be Unafraid to Serve the Poor. Ito po ay kasama din ng ating World Day of the Poor celebration at kasama po sa mga naging panel dito ay walang iba kundi ang ating admin and secretary to the executive director, si Ms. Thyra Fabe. Gusto nating ipamahagi sa inyo ang naging bahagi niya para doon sa panel for the World Youth Day.
To start, how we've divided the webinar and to really explore the different themes, to shine, to listen, and to be unafraid. So we have a testimony for each. For To Shine, we have Thyra Fabe, who's from Caritas Philippines. And Thyra currently holds the position of Administrative Officer at Caritas Philippines, where she plays a pivotal role in overseeing its day-to-day operations. She previously served as the Research and Data Management Officer of Caritas Philippines Academy. Before joining Caritas, Thyra worked with several NGOs, such as Volunteer Service overseas, as researcher for its livelihood programs in Asia. She is currently the youngest member of Caritas Philippines. For To Listen, we will have Rebecca Rathbone, who is from Caritas Internationalis here in Rome, but she has also had previous experience with development and peace in Canada. So I've already gone into her bio a bit, but I'll read the official one. So Rebecca Rathbone works for the Caritas Internationalis General Secretariat in Vatican City as our officer promoting youth leadership. She works closely with young people across our whole confederation so that they can participate actively and meaningfully in the global mission of Caritas. She is from Hamilton, Canada, and before coming to Rome, she worked for Caritas Canadian Member Development and Peace for 6 years. She has a Master's of Global Affairs degree from the Monk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy at the University of Toronto. And for the third call, to be unafraid, we have Isabella Saleyu from Caritas, Papua New Guinea. Isabella Saleyu is joining us from Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. She works as a communications officer at Caritas, Papua New Guinea, and on January 3rd, she will celebrate her one-year anniversary working with Caritas. She is also the co-chair of the Caritas Oceania Youth Alliance, which is the regional forum of young Caritas staff and volunteers in the Oceania region. So we have good representation from around the world. And it will be fantastic to have this opportunity to really talk about the message of Pope Francis and to also to share and exchange ideas about what others are doing in different regions and how if there are ways to also apply those different, those different activities in our own context. So it will be a good information sharing exchange. So yeah, and good testimonies. So just some house rules. For those who are speaking, make sure to switch on your microphone. And then for everyone else, to make sure your microphones are on mute so we can really hear what they have to say. And yeah, I think that's basically it. But anyway, it's going to be a nice informal exchange. So shall we begin? So I would like to introduce first our first speaker, Thyra, who will talk about her experience with Caritas Philippines and more specifically on the verb of to shine, which Pope Francis was talking about. So one part of the homily of Pope Francis at the Missioning Mass, he said, it's important for us to shine. And what does that mean to shine? It's not necessarily being under the spotlight, but being able to be a source of light for others and sort of to be a light that illumines those around us. So he said, friends, I am telling you the truth. Whenever you do works of love, you become light. But the moment you stop loving others and become self-centered, you extinguish your light. So without further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Thyra.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. It's currently 8 o'clock here in the Philippines. So, yeah. So today I'll be sharing a short reflection on one of the points of Pope Francis' homily in the World Youth Day in Lisbon, which is to shine. And more specifically on what it means to shine when serving the poor and the vulnerable, especially in the perspective of a Filipino, of someone working in Caritas Philippines. So to start off, I think it's important for us. Most of us here are English speakers, but I would like still to define what it means to shine. And to shine, as defined, is to give out a bright light. And Pope Francis also explained this in his homily using the transfiguration of Jesus and using this line, his face shone like the sun in Matthew 17:2. Now, moving forward, what is shine in the Filipino? What is shine translated to Filipino? And this is actually the backbone of my reflection on this part of Pope Francis' homily. For the Filipino, in Filipino, shine actually is translated to liwanag. And I hope all of you here would take note of this because this is a recurring word in the presentation. Shine is translated to liwanag. And if I were to translate the lion in the Bible, his face shone like the sun, it's going to look like ang kanyang mukha, his face, ay lumiwanag, shone na tila araw. So why am I talking about the definition of shine when it's something that is already understood by most English speakers here? And that is because liwanag, the Filipino translation of shine, is a very special word for us. It is multi-layered and it is also used for other things. Things other than to give out a bright light. Actually, when this word was assigned to me by Rebecca a few days ago, I was very happy because this is a word that we often use, especially when it's about the Advent. This is the word that is often the central of homilies in the churches. So moving forward, liwanag is a very special Filipino word because it doesn't only mean to give out a bright light, but it is also a root word for the Filipino translation of the words explanation or clarification, which is paliwanag. So when you talk about shining, it doesn't mean just to give out light. It also means to explain and to clarify. If so, by any chance, any of you goes to the Philippines and you want to ask someone to explain something, you will ask them, pakipaliwanag nga. Or if you want to ask someone, a Filipino, if they understand what you're talking about, you can just ask, maliwanag ba? Also in the Philippines, if someone were to ask you if you understand something, you can simply answer na maliwanag. Direct translation of it is it shines, but no, not really. It just means that you understood. So, for us Filipinos, for us in the Caritas Philippines in particular, to shine is not just to give out a bright light, like how Pope Francis used it in his homily, but it also means to explain, to clarify, and more than anything else, to understand and be understood. So, why am I talking about this, and how is it related or tangential to the homily in the World Youth Day in Lisbon, and how is this going to be important to us as the youth of Caritas? So, I think it was mentioned by a moderator earlier, this part of Pope Francis' homily, but he reminded all the participants of the World Youth Day to shine. And when you shine, you do not radiate light by putting yourself in the spotlight, because that is the kind of light that is blinding. But you will shine by welcoming Jesus into your hearts and then learning to love as He does. If I were to summarize that, simply put, He's telling us that we can only shine when we love. And for us Filipinos, we would like to put a little something in between shining and love, and that is going back to the translation earlier, it is understanding or pagliliwanag. Because this is the universal truth in all things, that we really cannot love what we do not understand. And we cannot say that we love our brothers and sisters in need if we do not really understand them, their context, their realities, their plights, and their challenges. So for us, in our context in the Philippines, to shine is to understand, because to understand is our way of loving. And so how do we operationalize understanding as shining? Because it's very easy for us to say that we understand the plights of our brothers and sisters in need. It's easy to understand that we understand. It's easy to say that we understand things. Actually, we always say that we already understand something because we do not want to engage in a dialogue anymore. We want to end the discussion there. But as the youth of Caritas, how do we really show that we understand our brothers and sisters? And how can we love our brothers and sisters in need? So, going back, at least for Caritas Philippines, understanding is an integral part of our operation. So we would like to share to you how we do this in our organization. First and foremost, in Caritas Philippines, we always go to the ground in order to understand and to listen to the problems and needs of the communities. So this is not just the project officers, the finance officers, or the other staff in the organization, but even our executive director, our bishop, and even in the top management, they make sure that they will always go to the ground in order to listen and to understand what is happening in our partner communities, what is happening to our brothers and sisters. And this is not something that we do just for the sake of photo op or documentation, or what Pope Francis said as spotlight. We really go there because we want to know what really happens on the ground. And this is something that can be seen in one of our flagship programs, which we call the accompaniment program. So this is a visit to all 86 dioceses in the Philippines in order to listen and understand their current situation, and in order to identify how Caritas can be of help to them. So the Philippines currently has 86 dioceses. That includes the diocese in the military. And the Philippines is an archipelago. So the Caritas Philippines team, which includes the head, which includes the president, really make an effort to visit all of them, not them to come to us, in order to initiate discussions and to hear what is their current situation, what are their problems internally as an organization, and externally in the communities. For example, when it comes to good governance, when it comes to ecology, when it comes to politics or drug use, so that Caritas can also identify how we can be of help to them. So our accompaniment program is our way of understanding, and it is our way of expressing solidarity with our brothers and sisters in need here in the Philippines. And we would like also to highlight that this program started during the pandemic, when there were restrictions and people felt that they were as isolated, especially the dioceses in the far-flung areas. Because again, we have 86 dioceses in the country, and not all of them get to receive some support from the national office. So they would like to, the accompaniment program allow them to have a voice and give them the chance to share also to us and for us to understand what are their needs and problems. So just a little data on the accompaniment program. This is actually a little outdated, but as of 2023, we were able to visit 69 dioceses and then provide mentoring programs in more than 4 already. And then we were also able to provide financial support to them when it comes to good governance, to ecology, and even organizational needs. Second, we operationalize understanding in Caritas Philippines by always involving our brothers and sisters in need in the designing of our programs and projects that benefit them. And we call this the co-development process. So just simply put, our communities are already involved before we make the proposal and until the implementation of our projects. So in the co-development process, our communities get to define their situations and needs, and eventually they get to implement the projects. This way, our brothers and sisters in need can give us a deeper understanding of their individual context, and then it also gives them a sense of ownership, especially during the implementation stage, since they're already the implementers of it. So we believe that giving them a sense of ownership is one of the best ways to show love to them, because our brothers and sisters in need, they also, of course, they lack a lot of things in life. But if they feel that the project is their own, at least in one of the aspects in their lives, they have a sense of ownership. So this is just some of the photos from the co-development process that we do. This is for one of our biggest projects at present, which is the Bamboo Forest Project, which aims to build bamboo forests in all 86 dioceses. So we visited some of the dioceses where the communities were able to share their problems, what were the issues on ecology, like illegal logging, charcoal making, and then we incorporated this in the proposal in the proposal that we submitted to our funder. So in everything that we do in Caritas Philippines, we always involve our brothers and sisters. And in that way, we get to understand their contexts, and we also let them shine in the interventions that hopefully address their issues or challenges. And in that way, our communities do not feel that they are alone in their plight. They do not feel isolated. That we are with them and we deeply understand them. So that is what it means for us in the Philippines, in Caritas Philippines, to shine when serving the poor and the vulnerable. To shine is to understand them. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Thyra, for sharing that. That was fantastic. I really, really appreciated how you go even back to the definition of a word and how language is important in that, and how to be a bright light for others wasn't just about having the light for yourself, but being able to share that light with other people. And it provides that sense of clarity and that understanding. So first, to shine, it brings light, but then you don't keep that light to yourself. And that seems to be very evident in the programs that you've just described. Because while you try to understand what the situation of those who are really in need and what's poor, again, the light becomes a lot brighter. So that sense of really understanding and letting others feel that they're understood, but not leaving it there, but then passing it on so that they also have a sense of ownership of where they're going to direct their own lives and destinies and where they're going to serve others in the community. So it's fantastic what you said. To shine isn't just to keep the light or to be the light yourself, but to pass that light on to others and to let others shine. And again, then the light becomes a lot bigger. So thank you so much for that.
Sa unang pagkakataon po, ang Simbahang Katoliko ng Pilipinas ay magpapadala ng ating official delegate para sa COP28 sa Dubai. Ito po ay sa pamamagitan ni Bishop Gerry Alminaza, ang Vice Chair ng Caritas Philippines. Sa kanyang pagdalo sa COP28, inaasahan po natin ang lahat ng mga hinaing at lahat ng boses ng mga communities natin dito sa Pilipinas ay madadala doon upang mapag-usapan lalong-lalo na ang claims natin para sa loss and damages reparations para sa ating mga communities o tinatawag na sites of struggles kung saan nangyayari ang mga pagmimina, ang coal operation at iba't iba pang mga kapareho din po nung nangyaring Super Typhoon Yolanda noong 2013. Ang lahat po ng ito ay kasama din ni Bishop Gerry para sa kanyang pakikibahagi sa Conference of Parties ay walang iba kundi ang ating mga partners na mga CSOs kapareho po ng Center for Energy, Ecology and Development. Nandiyan din po ang Living Laudato Si Philippines, ang Philippine Movement for Climate Justice at ang iba pang mga kasama ng Eco-Convergence National Hub. Ipanalangin po natin na mas maging matagumpay, mas makabuluhan, meaningful ang kanilang pagdalo sa Conference of Parties 28 sa Dubai, UAE. At sa pamamagitan po ng ating mga kasama sa Caritas Philippines, especially sa Communications and Partnership Development Office, gusto po namin sa inyong bumati ng maligayang Pasko at manigong bagong taon. Sa susunod na taon na po tayo, 2024, sunod na magkikita dito sa ating programa. At sana po ay makasama pa din namin kayo at sa pamamagitan po ni Bishop Colin Bagaforo, ang Pangulo ng Caritas Philippines, at ni Father Tony Labiao, ang ating pong Executive Director, ang amin pong pasasalamat sa buong isang taon na maalab ninyong pagsuporta sa 7 Alay Kapwa Legacy Programs. At ang lahat ng ito po ay sana panalangin namin na dalhin natin sa susunod na bagong taon. Ako po si Gerry Henderson at ito ang Caritas News on the Go.
Caritas News on the Go, the Social Action Network's news and public affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide. Live at Caritas Philippines social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the Go.